Roger Weist, and let's get into today's speed build video. Hello, it's SimTie here, and we're back with the Devron this time for our speed build. This is set on a 30 by 20 lot in Newcrest. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but the last few houses have been in Newcrest. I'm basically just building that up as if it was a real house and estate kind of thing. That's why I've stuck to Newcrest for all the builds so far. This home comes in at 128,715 simoleons. So it's pretty regular for a family home in The Sims, that I would say. That's what most of my builds come in at, about 100,000, if they're not too big and lavish and they're fully furnished and whatnot. With 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, one of them being an ensuite in the master bedroom, this home sleeps up to 6 Sims. We have 2 double beds and 2 single beds. Upstairs we have the 1 master bedroom, 1 child or teen bedroom, we have 1 toddler bedroom, which could easily be made a child bedroom if you change the bed, and then 1 teen to young adult bedroom, because that also has a double bed the same as the master bedroom, and it's a bit bigger as well. And downstairs we have a formal living area, and that was kinda, the idea of that was to keep it presentable and really nice for having visitors over and somewhere to chat rather than to sit and lounge and watch TV with the family. And that's because you have to walk through the living room to get to the kitchen, dining and the back door and the utility and everything. So I thought it'd be nicer to have that as more of a formal reception room. And then where the garage would be in real life, I have put a family room instead. The family room means the kids can do whatever they want. It's super colourful and there's lots of toys in there, and there's a TV. There's a couple of couches so that they can all sit, and it seems as though the kids may have actually picked the couches, and you'll see what I'm talking about in just a bit. So we're just getting the wallpaper on the outside of the house, and then we'll move inside once we are finished with the exterior. We do have the garden in this section too, just so that we've got the whole outside of it done. Now, while this is part of the real life houses in the Sims 4 series that I've been doing, it is just based on the real life houses. It's just got the same floor plan basically, and I've adapted it to however I see fit. Right now we're doing a skylight because originally I wanted to make this room at the back of the house. Sorry, my voice keeps breaking. I wanted to do this room as a playroom for the 2 kids in the smaller bedrooms, but then I decided to go for another bedroom instead. But I just kept the skylight in anyway because it's really nice above the bed there. So I don't always put a fence around the entrance to the houses, and I especially don't always do a gate, but I thought it was quite nice to do it nice and enclosed, so that it's just a wee small space to get into the house and everything else can be a bit more open. And I've just got that roof extending right across to the edge of the living area as well. Just getting some landscaping in now that we finished with the house. I think we've just got some lights to put on the house, but yeah, we're just moving on to the landscaping. So I realised this is a bit longer than some videos, so I'm working on reducing the time of my builds with the way I build and the way I edit. I'm just really focusing on bringing that time down so that it's easier and quicker to watch, so that you don't get bored and it doesn't take up so much time that you're like, nah, I just won't bother watching that. But I do think that it would benefit the channel and any viewers if I was able to cut down the time. If you have any tips on that, you can leave it down in the comments down below, or you can contact us on social media. So we're on Facebook as ScrewballScots, and we're on Instagram as ScrewballScots, and then we're on Twitter as ScrewballScots or at TieBowie. So while we have the entertaining area on the left hand side, I wanted to give the kids a little bit more of something to play with in the garden. So I gave them that basketball hoop. We put in the sprinkler just there because I know they like playing in that. And then we've got the swings, all of which are activities for any age of sim, which is also quite good because it means that they won't age up and it becomes redundant. I like to see the house lit up in night modes or at night time, so that's why I always go around the house with some lights before I finish up, because I just think it makes it look so much nicer from the exterior. I felt like this section of the wall looked a bit bare, so I decided to just put some plants in and the pipe work there as well. I feel like it just breaks it up a wee bit and it gives you less of a big white space, obviously. We've got the fire pit in there. I feel like this is a bit more of like a wee sit and chat area for the adults after the barbecue or something, so I thought the fire would be quite a nice touch. After doing that Eden build, which I will link at the end of this video, I've been right into doing gardens and making sure the gardens are all really nice and plush. And I think it's inspiration from other builders because I love watching other builders landscape and their builds. I just think it's so therapeutic and nice to see the way they place things, and I always get a bit conscious of repeating things, like doing the purple bush 3 spaces, a purple bush 3 spaces, but I think it looks nice and you don't notice it in the overall thing. I think you just notice it while you're actually doing it. But I noticed that other people do it, and when I look at it, I like it, so I decided to try it for myself, and I actually thought it did work quite well. So now we're finally moving in to the interior, and we're starting with the kitchen. So for this I wanted a relatively modern design and interior for the house, but I wanted to keep it quite homely as well, and not really cold and not too modern, and everything was just stark white. I always like adding touches for the kids, like the ketchup or the bread bin that they've painted, just to show that it is a family home. But they can easily be changed or removed. The kitchen isn't massive in this build. I feel like it's a lot of space, but because I didn't put an island in, I feel like there's a lot of space not getting used as well. But I don't think it's too bad, because once we put the dining table in, it does give you that space to kind of move about. And instead of putting in a curtain or a blind here, I decided to put in some shelves so that you could stick stuff up at the window. It just gives a little bit extra storage, but it's open so that it's easier to get to. And then we're moving over to the dining area of the kitchen dining space. I chose to do quite a big back door because I thought it was a really nice door, and I feel like it's a garden door, the way the windows come down and it's all little square windows. It seems to me like a greenhouse or something, so that's why I put that in the back door, even though it is bigger than the front door. But I think that's the case quite a lot. Sometimes you can get a double door for the back door and a single for the front, so I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. We have the centerpiece there, which is just some leaves going across the glass, the glass on the table, and then the fruit bowl in the centre. I like those lights hanging down as well, I thought they were really nice. And because of this big rug, I think it does minimise the big gap between the dining table and the kitchen area. If you've seen it in my build before, you probably know that I like a lot of matching things, so we have a lot of beige and brown in this kitchen, and that's because of the counters, because they're brown and white, and then everything that starts tying in with that in the kitchen, I just carried it right through to the dining area. I wonder if I do things too matchy, but I don't know how else to do it because that's the way I like it. So I had to use a move objects cheat to get that door in there in the first place, but it actually worked. So I don't see why it doesn't just work in the first place. But anyway, it does work, just so that you know. So this utility is a bit more modern and cold, but that's because it's a utility, so I thought those units would be quite good for it. So this is the formal reception room. I've still made it quite nice and cosy, somewhere nice to go and sit, but it isn't practical for having a family to sit and enjoy watching TV and play with toys and things. I wanted to use that wood to carry it through from the fireplace round the fire there, and I thought it'd be nice if it was projected on the back and then behind you as well. If you do enjoy this build, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Do ring that notification bell so that you don't miss any build uploads. So far we're just doing them every Monday. I like this blue colour in here. I thought it went nice with the white and the brown of the fireplace, so I started using some furniture with that in it as well. I wasn't sure what to do on these walls because I didn't want them to be too much, so I decided to just go with this quite plain and calm colour. And then to separate those bits of walls, we just put some wooden beams in that kind of blend into the wooden panels actually. I felt like that was too small, so I decided to go with something a little bigger, as we see here. And then for this one, I just flipped it, sorry, and then I used the Alt key to place it directly beside the other one. Obviously it was sticking out more because it's designed to go flush against the wall on the other side, and that side sticks out more, but I wanted them to be symmetrical so that they had that nice big bit in the middle and it wasn't just two repeated shapes. So now we're in the family room. Now as you can see there, I've done the downstairs toilet and I did all the bathrooms off camera because they're all pretty similar, and you'll see them in the screenshots, and when we're building anyway you'll see them kind of like this just now. So I didn't bother putting them in because there's not much to see, and I know that it's time wasted when you can see things like this. So I decided to go for the two opposite colours of base of couch, and that's how I got them to match up. I just went with one colour for one, so the pale blue couch is for the parents and then the colourful couch is for the kids, and it's kind of like the kids picked it and then the parents made it work from there. So they've both got the same base colours, just swapped around, and then they've got the different coloured cushions on the top. So I made sure to have lots of activities and toys about the place. So we have that game table, we have the drawing and blocks table, a toy box, and then the drawing table over at the side there. This is actually a wallpaper that I really like and I don't ever use it, but I don't know, I've never really noticed it before in the catalogue, but I think it's really nice and just simple to then put things over the top of it, especially for a kid's room or even a kitchen. I've seen it used in kitchens quite a lot and I think it's really nice. We're just getting some stickers in here to make it a little bit more kid friendly, even though it's super colourful. So I like to think of this room as being the room where, if the family's downstairs, this is where the kids get the free roam. They can do whatever they want in the bedrooms, and then this is the family room where they can just chill, make a mess, play with their toys, draw, do anything. This is upstairs now, and this is the master bedroom, and to the right there we have the master bedroom ensuite. So I realised that this was quite big, and it's actually quite substantially bigger than the real life one, but it's because of the way that the Sims works with the grid and everything. So I decided to use one section for the bed, one section for a sitting area for the TV, and then as you can see here, I'm actually walling off the wardrobe area, and that's just to kind of give a little bit more privacy. So I hope you've all had a good week. Last week we uploaded the Tay, and the week before that we uploaded the Tay starter home, and on both I got really good feedback, so I really appreciate that. Thank you to people who gave us feedback from them. So I do appreciate the fact that people have gone to the trouble of commenting and commenting on social media as well to tell us that they like the builds, or even constructive criticism is always welcome, because you can always improve, and with a tiny channel like this there's clearly a lot to work on. That wall at the end of the bed there, it kind of serves two purposes. I tried to match it as best I could with the headboard of the bed, and it also just separates it from the sofa so that it's not quite just bed, sofa, gap, TV. So speaking of the family home, we actually got a new baby cousin this week. He was born a couple of days ago and he got home yesterday. He is so tiny and I can't wait to see him again. I've only held him once so far, so I'm looking forward to holding him again. The last time I had the baby in the family was quite some time ago. It was about 7-8 years ago now, so it's quite exciting to have another baby. So speaking of babies, here's the toddler's room. I decided to go kind of animal themed with this. I really liked that poster in the wall, so pretty much everything was designed around that. I found that earlier when I was doing the family room, and I decided to pop it in there, and then that everything just went from there. So while this bedroom's quite small, because I had the family room, I didn't mind having a small bedroom. There's enough room for a couple of toys and the bed and a wee bookshelf. Because usually I like to have the rooms a decent size so that I can put all their toys and everything in it, but recently I've been trying to make the bedrooms a more realistic size, and I think by using these real life houses for the floor plan, it does help reduce the size of bedrooms like this. Maybe not so much the master bedroom, because the way I built the downstairs, we had to make that size. So this bedroom here, I never designed it for any specific sim, age wise and gender wise. I figured it was probably like a child becoming a teenager kind of thing. I wanted to have the desk in there, and then there's a single bed, so really it is for any sim that you think would fit in this room. I didn't have one in mind, like I said, but I do like how the room turned out. I think it's also suitable. It's not super boyish or super girlish in, the stereotypical ways. I try to keep everything quite neutral. Not deliberately, we ended up having a blue theme because the drawers on the bed are blue, and then the side table that's been drawn on, that's got a lot of blue in it. I always like to think that the rooms are some way that they can express themselves and have their own pictures on the walls or draw on the furniture and whatever, so that's why I like to put in something like that every now and then, such as the bedside table that we've got here. And then if this is a kid's room, I put that little monster fighting lamp in there just so that the octopus monster thing doesn't come out from under the bed. I know a lot of kids and teenagers who enjoy music, so that's why I put in a wee keyboard in there. So this is the final bedroom. This is designed in my mind for a teen, but it could easily be for a teen or an adult or even a really lucky child. We've got the double bed here, we've got the 2 walk-in wardrobes, and then the other side we have a computing space. Now in the real life floor plan for this house, the computing space is actually an ensuite, but with the way the door worked, I couldn't put the ensuite in the way the floor plan had it. So I decided just to separate the room with this desk and the bookshelf and have it as kind of like an office gaming space or however they would use it. And then we have that mural in the background, and in the screenshots you'll see the mural is completed. I like those shelves at the side of the bed instead of cabinets or tables, because I thought it was nice small version. It wasn't too bulky and didn't take up a lot of space and didn't take up any floor space. And because the bed is already quite low, I thought that was a nice little touch. So I'm using this bookshelf just to separate the bed from the desk, really just to make it feel more enclosed and cozy for when you're in your bed. Initially I did put these lights all the way along equally, but then I changed the skylight and the end light to the left was hanging out of nothing, so I just moved that along a wee bit. So now the skylight goes right across the top of the bed, so when they're lying in bed they can look up at the stars or the rain, because when I was taking the screenshots it was raining. Again, I did try to keep this room quite neutral for the colour scheme, and so that any sim can use it. Now we've moved on to the screenshots, so I'll leave you here, and I hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, let us know in the comments, and we will see you next week for another speed build. Until then, haste you back!